This will go down as a special moment in Packer history.
The little team that could take out the Cowboys.
That was fun, wasn't it? Now we're ready to write the next chapter. It's a whole new year, plenty of familiar faces return, along with a few new ones. Nevertheless, we're all back, right here in Green Bay. Back to work, back to the grind, back to football. Total Packers kicks off right now.
Hello and welcome to the Total Packers Offseason Report, presented by Software One. Larry McCarren, along with my esteemed colleagues from Packers.com, Mike Spofford and Wes Hotkowitz. And gentlemen, what a difference a year makes. This year, everybody loves the Packers and their chances. And Mike, that has a lot to do with a fellow named Jordan Love.
It certainly does, and this is becoming Jordan Love's team, Larry. You look at the way the Packers have kind of transitioned to this youth movement on offense. There's only one guy on that side of the ball who's been in Green Bay longer than Jordan Love, and that's Elton Jenkins, who's a leader in his own right. Jordan Love experienced the crunch time failures and successes, the blitzes, the out-of-pocket plays. He saw it all last year, and now he moves into that second year as a starter.
And Wes, while Jordan does play the most important position, he is just part of a team that you'd have to label young and ascending.
Yeah, absolutely, Larry. I mean, as Mike kind of touched on how young this group was, that wasn't just what impressed me, though. It's how guys responded right out of the gate. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, guys that you weren't necessarily expecting to come in year one and contribute. And even though they went through some injuries and some adversity, especially in the middle part of the season, they were at their best at the end of the year. And I think that's what gives everybody right now that optimism that 2024 could be even brighter.
New challenges do lie ahead for this Packer team, and perhaps the biggest challenge is a challenge of expectations.
We just like to be quiet and under the radar all the time, but at the same time I think high expectations are good, and hopefully our players will embrace that.
Nothing's guaranteed in this game. There's going to be new obstacles and new hurdles to move over, but I am excited about the group that we have coming back.
Hopefully they all know that what they're doing right now and through the course of the next 4 months is going to be exceptionally important through our season. But I think embracing high expectations is something we've done around here for a long time, and it's good that they're back.
Those expectations have risen even more since acquiring a pair of big-name free agents in March.
Jacobs with running room right up the middle. And on the pass intercepted, Xavier McKinney.
I do feel really good about the two new guys that we're bringing in and what they will add.
Heart, competitiveness, playmaking ability, trying to put on a show, really, that's my goal.
You want to be able to take the ball away, and he's made a number of those plays over the course of his career in New York.
The defense got themselves an elite ball hawk in McKinney, while the offense has their new workhorse in Josh Jacobs.
I'm excited about him as well, another captain, a high-volume back that can carry the load.
He runs with a lot of violence, explosiveness, a guy that can flourish in all phases.
We sat down with the newest Packers running back, and that conversation starts now.
Jacobs breaking free, going to the end zone for the touchdown.
Josh, new team, new guys, new everything. How is your personal acclimation process going?
It's definitely been different, coming out here and just finding my way around. Really, that's just the biggest difference I've had. But trying to interact with the guys and let them get to know me.
I believe meetings are part of phase one of the off-season program. Have you got a first look at the offense? And if so, how do you think you fit?
Man, watching them in meetings, just actually learning the terminology and the schemes, seeing the guys in live in action, it makes me excited for the year.
Jordan Love, He's a popular young man around here. Your first impressions?
Yeah, I told him yesterday, I gave him a ride. I gave him a ride yesterday. I told him, I said, man, you're a big reason why I wanted to come here. I think he's going to be the next, superstar in this league. The guy's special, and he's young, and he's only going to get better.
You're a brand name in NFL circles, but you're a new guy to Packer fans. Could you describe your play style, particularly when you have the ball in your hands?
I think I'm a player that I give you everything I got. I'm on every single play. I'm a guy that goes out there and I want to set the tone.
Breaking free, going to the end zone for the touchdown.
I think that stamps who I am.
Josh, in 22, you lead the NFL in rushing. What was that like? You must have had a tremendous feeling of satisfaction.
You know what's crazy is that year I went into the game, I kind of never felt like certain. Like I'm like, man, I don't know about this game today. And I never actually felt like I had a lot of yards until like I seen the stats after the game. So it was a weird year, but it was definitely a fun year, and it was definitely something that I look forward to doing again.
5 years in the league and no receiving TDs. Now, I'm going to make you a bet.
Yeah.
I'll bet you $1 that that's going to end in the first 2 games as a Green Bay Packer. I mean, do you feel like that is kind of an untapped area of your game, your receiving skills?
That was one of the first things I asked when I came here. I'm like, man, can I catch the ball more? Just because I feel like I showcased it a lot, in college. And, not having a receiving touchdown is kind of crazy. So that's definitely on my bucket list.
Josh, you are wearing your familiar number 8 as a Green Bay Packer, but it used to belong to quarterback Sean Clifford.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way you end up with it. Is there a backstory there, or did they just give it to you?
You want the truth?
Yeah, I want the truth.
Okay, so basically, man, they basically just gave it to me. But
Yeah.
I called them and, I was like, man, I don't want to take your number. And I was like, so I'm gonna make it, worth it for you. And, we shook hands and called it a day.
Josh, you were a captain with the Raiders. How will you approach your leadership role as a Green Bay Packer?
For me, first and foremost, I believe in putting in the work. And, when people see you put in the work, they kind of respect it. And then, when it's time to speak up and it's time to be vocal, I feel like I can do that too. For me, it's just earning the guys' respect. I think that goes a long way.
Now, you sign a big deal. You're replacing Aaron Jones. Do you feel any pressure?
Honestly, not yet. When you think about a guy like that, and I know him personally, he's a great dude, and he was great for this community. I don't think it's so much about the pressure and about replacing him, more so about just keeping that standard and a passing of the torch, really, and try to uphold that standard and, and improve from it.
Big change at RB1, but it's not a complete makeover in the Packer backfield. Mike A.J. Dillon is back for his 5th season, and it's a big one for him on a number of levels.
Absolutely. He's got another shot here in Green Bay. He will be RB2 most likely behind Josh Jacobs. A.J. Dillon knows this offense and the roles that he can play. 2-minute drill, the hurry-up stuff. Also, very experienced in pass protection when it comes to the blitz pickup, and that'll be a big deal for A.J. Dillon.
Wes, while we're in the neighborhood of returning vets, as the nickelback, Keyshawn Nixon was a regular part of the defense, a starter basically, for the first time in his career. The Packers liked what they saw.
Absolutely, and this was an important piece, I think, for the Packers with the free agent game because they could have moved on. They could have went a different direction. Jeff Hafley's coming in with this defense, but he looked at the film. Matt LaFleur talked about it. What they saw from Keyshawn last year in year 1 in that nickel role, they feel like his best football is still ahead of him here, and he's such a big, consummate professional inside that locker room. When you look at who the top free agent targets were for Green Bay wanting to retain, that list started with Nixon, and they were able to check it off.
All right, Coming up, the boys are back in town. The off-season program is underway. We'll take a look at phase one when we come back.
We back, let's get it. Can't wait to get after it. Day one. Just stay tuned. Hey, day one, y'all boys. Let's get started. Let's do everything the right way and go hard, y'all. Let's do it. Hey, family on three. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
The Packers off-season workout program is underway. Players will complete phases 1 and 2 before moving on to 3 weeks of OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. Plenty of on-the-field action as the march to training camp rolls on. The Packers already laying the foundation for next season, a season that will begin in Brazil.
It's the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles.
This is very important for the league. The Packers are very popular in Brazil.
Just got the news that we're playing in Brazil week 1. Extremely excited about going out there.
First game ever in Brazil, and we're looking forward and excited about the chance.
Packer fans, make it a hostile environment for them. Let's get it.
Right side of the end zone. Got it in. Green Bay Packers!
Question. That's about Brazil. What the fans gonna be like? Oh, crazy. Party. Hot.
Awesome.
What's up, AJ?
There he is.
What you got for me?
Shoot, I'm trying to see what they got for us.
Give us a no Pacquiao in Portuguese.
Vai, Packers, vai!
Vai, Packers, vai! Vai, Packers, vai!
Packers, vai.
Vai, Packers.
Vai, Packers, vai. There you go. Yeah.
Week 1 in Brazil leaves the Packers with 9 home games and 7 true road games for 2024. The schedule rotation has matchups with the AFC South and NFC West, not to mention a rematch with the NFC champion 49ers, this time at Lambeau Field. Outside of the opener in Brazil, the actual schedule has yet to be released. But Mike, is there a game and opponent that really jumps out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most interesting games at Lambeau Field this fall will be against the Houston Texans, because you're talking about Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud, 2 of the best young up-and-coming quarterbacks in this league. I don't think last year anybody thought the Packers and the Texans, with those 2 quarterbacks being so young, were going to make the playoffs. They both did, and now they'll go head-to-head.
Wes, how about you? Any game in particular that you can really sink your teeth into?
The one I'm sinking my teeth into is the San Francisco 49ers, because anytime they show up in your side of the bracket, you want to show up, you want to show what you're about. The Green Bay Packers, that was a tough way to end last year in Santa Clara, but everybody knows the 49ers really have been the litmus test within the NFC. If you're going to make that next jump, there's a lot of work to be done in those other 16 games, but beating the 49ers, whenever it happens, definitely is something you have to accomplish.
I'm looking forward to that one too, but I'm also looking forward to both Lions games. They were in the NFC Championship game last year, and that says a lot. Coming up, we go one-on-one with the Packers' new defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley. Welcome back. Here's a look at the updated coaching staff heading into next season. A number of changes for a new-look defense under DC Jeff Hafley, including the addition of Derek Ansley as pass game coordinator and Anthony Campanelli in charge of the run game.
It will be a different scheme. but I think it's one that I think it will be easy to adjust to with the personnel that we have. Anytime you have good players, they should be able to adapt to most schemes. It's a style of play. How did these guys attack the football? How did they approach the ball carrier? And how relentless are they playing each and every play? The effort that they give. That is definitely a staple of that defense.
There's an old adage that says defense wins championships. And it became an old adage because, generally speaking, it's true. And the Packers have a new man leading that unit, Jeff Hafley.
Steps up, hit from behind, down he goes. Off the hands and it's picked off. Hit from behind, down he goes. The exclamation point for the defense.
I'm assuming you've watched every play of every game. What'd you take away from it?
We've got really good players, very talented players. I think the D-line has depth, and they have some guys that played their best football last year. And the same thing I see at the linebacker position. I know Quay and McDuff have kind of been the guys at the end that were playing. And then the back end, we have maybe the best corner in football. He's a fun guy to be around, and he loves ball, and he's super talented in his job. And then you get Keyshawn, who we were really excited to have back playing nickel. And then you get Xavier to play safety, seeing all the things that he could do. And then the younger guys that got experience here that give us some depth. And now we have competition for other spots that are open. It's excited to be around this whole team. At the end of the year, watching in the playoffs, they were so hot and playing so well. It's one of the reasons I wanted to be here.
How will your defense look different than what they're used to seeing?
We're going to attack. I told the players I want to lead the NFL in effort, and I want to lead the NFL in how hard we play, and I want to lead the NFL in taking the ball away. I want people to see the confidence that our players are playing with in themselves and with their teammates, and showing them how much they care about each other and this team by how hard they play and how hard they run to the ball and the effort that they give.
Intercepted. Coming back with a Jair Alexander.
What do you do as the defensive coordinator to encourage that kind of culture where takeaways are just part of your DNA?
You prioritize it, and it's not just talk. It's every day in meetings, showing them how we're going to do it and teaching how we're going to do it. And then it has to show up in practice, and then it needs to show up in the games. That is priority number one. We have to take the ball away.
Kenny Clark said, your defense will allow the guys up front to be way more disruptive. How so?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna line up with our hand in the ground. We're gonna try to get off the ball and key the ball and get upfield as fast as we can and be disruptive and create a new line of scrimmage. That's probably the biggest difference for those guys up front right now. Get their butts up in the air and let's go forward and attack. I'm sure some of the guys are excited about doing that.
In general, would you say defensive guys are more fun to coach?
I don't know if they're more fun. I don't know if anybody's ever asked me that question. I think some position groups, as I've learned, it's like today, I went in all three meetings. After I was done as a unit, sat in with the DBs, way different than going to linebackers. I mean, different personalities, different energy in the room, and then you go to the D-line, and it's, the beauty of it is, though, you piece those all together, and that's when you get going.
In that first session you had with the media in Green Bay, you could see you're passionate about football. What do you love about the game that makes you that passionate?
Oh, there's so much I love about it. I love working with the staff. I love being around the locker room. I love to compete. I can't wait till we get out on the field for mini camps and once we get to practice and piece it all together. I want to try to do my best to make every one of these players get to where they want to be and achieve all their goals. And even greater than that, I want to win here. And I want to help Matt, I want to help the Packers, I want to help everybody involved, win as many games as we can. You know, that's what drives me, that's what motivates me.
Wes, I've seen you working diligently on your Packers.com mock draft. Who do you like on the defensive side of the ball?
I'm taking the homer pick here in Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Obviously, there's a track record there for Green Bay with the Hawkeye players. But what I like about him, Larry, he's quiet, he's humble, and he's focused. He reminds me a lot of Micah Hyde, but almost notched up a few different levels. I mean, this is a guy that can run in the 4-4s. He's a natural leader. He can play inside, he can play outside, and he's a ball hawk. And as the Green Bay Packers learned last season, you can never have enough versatile defensive backs in your secondary. He could be someone to really keep an eye on this one.
Spaff, the Packers have not been bashful about using number one draft choices on defensive players. Anybody you liking?
Yeah, another defensive back in addition to what Wes was talking about. Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback from Toledo. This guy, another speedster. He's got 46 passes broken up and 6 interceptions over the last 3 years. The numbers, the experience is there. A lot of questions about just what kind of competition did he face at Toledo, but he answered those questions by being a real standout corner at the Senior Bowl in that whole week of practices against all the top draft prospects. He's definitely a guy to keep an eye on.
Guys, offensively speaking, it's a very strong year in the offensive line. And a guy I find interesting is Amarius Mims, tackle out of Georgia. 6'8", 340, ran a 5.07. Athletic as all get out. His upside is basically limitless. One problem, he only started 8 games at Georgia, so it's all in front of him, but I find him very interesting. At any rate, the experts say the Packers have needs at linebacker, safety, corner, and in the offensive line. To all that, Brian Gutekunst says,
Ted Thompson always told us and always believed, and we still believe, we have no idea what our needs are going to be 6 months from now. So particularly with the college draft, I think we go into that kind of trying to take the best players available. Having, I think, 5 in the first 91 gives us a lot of flexibility. It's a very unpredictable thing, the draft, so you got to be prepared for everything, how it's going to fall. Every draft class is different. Some are stronger than others. What we know is we got to be able to help the Green Bay Packers the best we can when that time comes.
11 picks overall, with 5 falling in the first 3 rounds. If that holds, it would be the most for the team since they had 5 back in 2006. Round 1 kicks off from Detroit on April 25th. All right, gentlemen, shall we reconvene for the draft?
Right around the corner, sounds like a plan.
All right, and that's it for the Total Packers off-season report, presented by Software One. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.
Yes, sir. We right back to it. Let's do it.